Hey folks, Eulair here. Good morning. It is Friday, October 16th. Wargaming announced yesterday on the World of Warships development blog a series of changes that will appear or plan to appear in 0910, both to ships that are currently in testing as well as ships that are currently in game. So I'll do a walkthrough here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So starting with the Hawkins, which is the Tier 5 Royal Navy heavy cruiser, she is getting a second buff to her main battery reload in successive updates. This time it is being improved from 12.1 to 11.7 seconds. I'll make a side comment here. This is something that I'm seeing with more regularity this year, where Wargaming will make a series of smaller incremental changes to ships in successive updates. I kind of read this as Wargaming has particular targets in mind, and rather than making a rather large change to ships all at once, they're trying to make these changes more gradual to see the effect and try to figure out whether they're honing in on the correct update without making a big change that they suddenly then have to back off to some extent. So that's kind of how I read some of these changes. Similarly, the Tier 8 Royal Navy aircraft carrier HMS Implacable, her bombs are being improved a second time again in successive updates. The maximum damage is being increased from 4,900 to 5,100 per bomb, and the chance of causing fires is being improved by another 1% from 28 to 29%. Next update is to the three tech tree Soviet heavy cruisers, Tier 8 through Tier 10. The Talon, her main battery reload is being improved from 13.5 to 13 seconds. I thought the Talon was very strong as she was, but I'm assuming Wargaming's looked at the stats of the ship and how she's performing relative to her peers and believes that she needs a slight buff to her reload. Now, on the other hand, her detection is being nerfed. From 14.24 to 14.45 kilometers. She will still be able to technically stealth radar, but this will narrow the margin by about 300 meters in terms of how much margin she has between her radar range and her surface detection. And we saw that also with the Riga and the Petropavlovsk in the last update. And both of those ships are receiving a second change or plan to receive a second change for 0910. So the Riga, her main battery's reload is being improved again a second time in successive updates, this time from 14.5 to 14 seconds. And her detection is being increased by 300 meters. And this will definitively make her unable to stealth radar. I mean, it's basically right on the cusp. It's within 100 or 200 meters. But this will definitely put her in a position where she will not be able to stealth radar. The Petropavlovsk is receiving, again, another successive nerf to her detection. The detection is being increased by 400 meters. This will further increase the difference between her detection and her radar range. So she received a nerf in 099 to her detection that prevented her from being able to stealth radar. This increases that differential even further. Okay, so those are the changes for ships that are currently in game. And again, these are planned for 0910. Again, everything on the blog is technically subject to change, but this is what we are currently expecting. So the next set of updates are to ships that are currently in testing. Some of these are being tested by myself and the super testers and the other CCs. Some of these are still in closed testing, notably the Italian battleships. So the Tier 6 and Tier 7 Italian battleships as well are losing their exhaust smoke generator. So the rationale here from Wargaming is that they want to draw a stronger or more pronounced distinction between the mid and upper tier battleships. The idea that I assume is, give the upper tier battleships the advantage of the exhaust smoke generator to make that progress more prominent. And then the Tier 10 Italian battleship, she's going to receive a series of nerfs. So the firing angles on her rear turrets are being reduced by 10 degrees. Now, when I see reduced by 10 degrees, I'm interpreting to mean that her firing angles are is narrower, so she will have to give more side in order to get the rear turrets into play. Hopefully, I'm interpreting that correctly. Sigma is being nerfed from 1.6 to 1.5, and the deck plating is being reduced from 55 to 50 millimeters. So before anybody gets too bent out of shape, again, none of these ships are currently even in Super Tester or CC's hands. There's no way for any of us to draw any conclusions that suddenly these ships are, now being nerfed into oblivion, and they're going to be unplayable. None of us have played them, so we don't know at this point. So we'll just have to see once the ships do start coming out and they do become public. Then we can draw some conclusions based on the final products, rather than assuming that they're somehow going to be underpowered before they even get released. All right, next update is to the premium Tier 6 Italian destroyer, the Leone. Her torpedo tube reload is being increased from 47 to 75 seconds. The upcoming special Tier 10 Royal Navy light cruiser HMS Plymouth, her engine settings are being changed, so she will basically have the same gain and loss and speed as the Minotaur, which makes sense. And then the main battery reload is being improved from 6.5 to 6 seconds. The Belfast 43, her main battery reload is being nerfed from 9 to 10.5 seconds. The Hizen, which is the upcoming premium Tier 9 Japanese battleship, her main battery firing range is being nerfed by 800 meters. The main turret traverse speed is being nerfed from 4.5 to 4 degrees per second, so a little more turret crawl. And then her detection is being increased by 1 kilometer. For the upcoming premium Tier 9 German destroyer, the Z-44, the angle at which to check for ricochets for AP shells is being reduced from 60 to 45 degrees. So that means that it'll be easier for opponents to angle basically against the AP shells. Wargaming will check for ricochets at shallower angles, and then the guaranteed ricochet angle for AP shells is also being nerfed from 67.5 to 60 degrees. So guaranteed ricochet at 60 degrees. And then the arming threshold is being increased from 19 to 21 millimeters. This will mean that she will overpen more frequently because it requires more armor to activate the AP shell. So some changes to the Z-44's AP. The Strasbourg, which is the upcoming premium Tier 7 French battleship, her main battery reload, or the consumable reload time for the main battery reload booster is being increased from 120 to 180 seconds. And then the main battery reload itself is being nerfed from 21 to 24 seconds. Then we get to the Mysore, which is the upcoming premium Tier 6 Commonwealth light cruiser. This is based on the Fiji hull. They are removing the ability to mount the propulsion modification 1 upgrade, since she should have the sort of the Royal Navy acceleration built in, I'm assuming. The AP shell arming thresholds and fuse times are being reduced to values to be consistent with other British light cruisers. So the arming threshold is being essentially cut in half from 25 to 12 millimeters, and the fusing arm time is being decreased from 0.025 to 0.005 seconds. And then last but not least, the parameters of skip bombers, which are being tested on the Tier 10, the special Tier 10 German aircraft carrier Werner Voss. They are being changed, although Wargaming doesn't say specifically what the parameters are that are being adjusted. So those were the updates from Wargaming that were posted yesterday. So I think at least for the ships that are currently in game, most of these changes I think people are by and large are going to be okay with. I don't think people are going to be too upset by the nerfs to the detection ranges on the upper tier Soviet heavy cruisers. But the other changes are definitely going to make the ships more playable and more enjoyable. So I think that's going to wrap it up here. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, we hope to see you out there on the virtual seas. And we wish you happy sailing.